there is a quiet lie most people build their lives around. The belief that one day, if they work hard enough, become smart enough, or make the right decisions, life will finally stop being difficult. They imagine a future where the problems disappear, where the stress fades, where everything finally feels easy. But life has never worked that way. Life is not a puzzle you solve once and then relax forever. Life is a series of problems, one after another. The solution to today's problem quietly lays the foundation for tomorrow's own. And the sooner a person understands this, the sooner they stop wasting energy fighting a battle that cannot be won. In a quiet neighborhood where everyone seemed to have their life figured out, Daniel went about his days like any other man. He worked, he laughed, he mingled with neighbors, but inside, a subtle heaviness tugged at him. He didn't notice it at first, because life appeared normal. But that weight was real, quietly accumulating in the spaces between his responsibilities and his distractions. Daniel believed his discomfort meant something was wrong. If work frustrated him, he assumed he'd chosen the wrong path. If life felt uncomfortable, he searched for the quickest escape. Like most people, he found solace in small, socially acceptable distractions. Endless scrolling on his phone, hours of videos, random entertainment filling quiet moments. In moderation, it felt harmless. But the problem wasn't the escape, it was how long he lingered there. Pain, Daniel would learn, has a strange rule. The longer you avoid it, the heavier it becomes. At first, he postponed small frustrations, a task at work, a difficult conversation, a personal decision. Tomorrow came, as always, with its own set of problems, while yesterday's unresolved issues quietly stacked themselves in the background, unseen but deeply felt. Years passed. From the outside, Daniel's life looked ordinary. He had friends, a job, and laughter that fit right in. But inside, each day felt slightly heavier, each challenge more draining. He couldn't pinpoint why. Life wasn't unbearable. It just always seemed one step ahead of him, leaving him constantly reacting, constantly escaping, constantly avoiding discomfort. One evening, after a particularly grueling day, Daniel sat alone in his small room. The dim light above him flickered as his mind replayed every task he had avoided, every decision he had postponed. And then, a quiet thought emerged. Perhaps the problem wasn't the pain itself, but the energy spent avoiding it. The longer he numbed himself, the more painful life became. Avoiding pain never felt like avoidance. It felt like relief. Each small distraction temporarily eased his mind. But the ease was deceptive. The problems didn't vanish. They waited, patient, quietly growing heavier with every day of neglect. Eventually, Daniel noticed a pattern. Problems kept returning, slightly worse each time. Avoided tasks became more complicated. Ignored conversations grew awkward. Postponed decisions slowly closed doors. Life seemed to corner him, forcing him to confront the very discomforts he had spent years dodging. For the first time, Daniel wondered, maybe life wasn't attacking him. It was simply collecting unpaid debts. Another evening, while talking to a close friend, the conversation turned to stress, frustration, and the feeling of being stuck. Daniel spoke longer than usual, like something inside him had been waiting to escape. When he finished, his friend smiled knowingly. "I watched this video from the Disappointment Panda," he said. "It said life is basically a chain of problems. Solve one, another appears. That's not failure. That's just moving forward." Daniel frowned. His friend continued. "The video also said we all numb pain. Phones, comfort, distractions. That's fine in moderation. But the longer we numb ourselves instead of confronting problems, the worse it gets when we finally face them." Daniel felt a chill of recognition. It was simple advice, but it landed like a revelation. Later that night, Daniel found the video online. The message hit him bluntly. Pain isn't the enemy, avoidance is. Discomfort isn't proof that life is broken. Often, it's proof that growth is trying to happen. For the first time in years, Daniel felt seen. His life, every small avoidance, every fleeting distraction, had added up into the heavy weight he carried. He realized that life would never get easier just by avoiding problems. It would always present new challenges. The goal wasn't to remove friction, but to become the kind of person capable of handling it. For years, Daniel had been designing a life without resistance. Now he understood, resistance was the very thing that sharpened him. The revelation was unsettling but freeing. His suffering wasn't a failure, it was participation. The question wasn't how to avoid pain, but which pains were worth carrying. Looking back, most of Daniel's weight hadn't come from effort or growth. It came from avoidance. From unfinished tasks. From postponed decisions. From responsibilities ignored because they were uncomfortable. Discomfort never disappeared. It transformed into something worse. Anxiety, guilt, wasted days. Each ignored task or avoided conversation compounded the weight on his mind. The longer he numbed himself, the more unbearable the consequences became. That night, Daniel made a small decision. He wouldn't promise a dramatic change. He would just face one discomfort tomorrow. Morning came, and the urge to avoid a difficult task was there as usual. But this time he paused. He remembered the video. Strong people aren't those who eliminate pain. They're those who stop resisting it. So he started the task. It was uncomfortable, mentally heavy. But minutes in, he realized the resistance faded as he focused on the work itself. By the time he finished, the weight he usually carried for hours had lifted. No one else noticed. The outside world hadn't changed. But Daniel had. Facing discomfort directly often hurt far less than avoiding it. This one small decision quietly became a new approach to life. Every day, Daniel asked, "Which problem will I face today instead of avoiding?" Tasks, conversations, discipline over distraction, all met head-on. Rest and entertainment became rewards after effort, not escapes. Slowly, the background anxiety faded. Problems didn't make life heavy, avoidance did. Months later, Daniel had changed profoundly. Challenges still arrived, but the constant tension was gone. A calm, steady happiness emerged, independent of circumstance. He woke up ready to engage, no longer surviving life, but participating in it. Friends noticed his relaxed smile, his energy, his patience. Happiness hadn't come from escaping pain. It came from making peace with it. By accepting life's inevitability of problems, Daniel discovered freedom, lightness, and a quiet joy he hadn't thought possible. Many people believe that one day life will finally become easy if they work hard enough or make the right choices. But life doesn't work that way. Problems don't disappear. They simply change form and continue. Every solution today quietly creates tomorrow's challenge. When people avoid tasks, postpone decisions, or ignore difficult conversations, those small problems pile up and begin to feel like a heavy weight. But once a person understands that life is a continuous series of problems to face, not something to escape, they stop resisting reality and start handling challenges with greater strength and clarity. If this message made you see life a little differently, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and don't forget to like and subscribe.